simple. More simple.
I know. It's just so hard.
I like that tempo.
Shut the gun.
Is that handheld? It's pretty steady.
We're like solid rock.
That's good. That's good. That happened. That happened. All right. Questions?
Are we filming?
Yeah, we're on.
This is happening?
It's already
Where's your
happening.
cerveza?
It's right here.
Okay.
Cheers.
We haven't seen each other in too long.
It's been a long time, dude.
But you know what? But we've known each other since 1989. You would have been in high school.
No, not 89. I think I was 16 or 17.
But you were in high school.
I was in high school.
That, yeah, at Lubbock High School.
89, 90. What would have been 90?
90. Yeah, because I started teaching the drum line over there, right? And you were playing, was it trio toms or was it...
No, not that. They were quads. We had 4.
You had 4.
Not tri-toms.
I had tri-toms in high school. But you had,
we even had quints at one point. That's right.
the Spock drum.
Buck, buck, buck. Yep. I just had to send back for the Corps. They had a 6 and 8, 10, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, they had
How many drums do they have now? 6?
6. And there's some that have like on the outside and cowbells and ribbon crashers. And,
really?
oh yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't kept up with DCI.
That's all right. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun. I dig it.
But we're in a hotel room in America. This is the
nicest La Quina.
This is the
La
nicest
Quinta.
La Quinta I have ever seen in my entire
it's pretty
life.
nice.
It's so modern.
The color scheme, I like the purple joker wall.
Austin, Texas. Because usually La Quintas are like more of a motel vibe where people can just like axe murderers can kick in a door.
Why would they kick in the door when they've got an axe?
That's, oh my god. Okay, so any kind of murderer, they would just kick in the door. And then, but no, this is all inside access. It's like a hotel.
Yep.
It's really nice.
All right, so, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to session 5 of Trading Eights. Once again, I am your host, Daniel Sanchez, and this is this is pretty cool. Because obviously we're kind of reminiscing, but like, this is kind of one of those full circle things. You guys, I'm sure, recognize this fella, but before we go too far forward, I got to say thank you. And I got to say thanks. For the biggest reason, people come up to me when I get done playing, and they say, you just look like you're having such a good time.
Yeah.
You look like you're so passionate in what you're doing. And I'm like, thank you, I appreciate it. And I can't hide it because that is how I feel. But man, I learned that from you.
Yeah?
I did, man. I was like going to see you, do your thing. Like I was telling you, Sean and I would drive up.
At Texas Tech and then North
from Texas Tech up to UNT, and we just watch you doing what you. I was like, that guy has got it. And obviously you could play, but it was just such a joy. And it made me feel good. It made me laugh, made me feel happy. Yeah. And still today I was getting that too, even during, not trying to make less of it, but even during just the clinic portion, seeing you play through things, I'm like, man, it's still the same
well, I sure appreciate
situation,
it.
man. It's awesome.
Well, all these years that are going by, where we're just talking about, I'm going to be 49 years old, you're going to be 43 years old, and we've been playing drums for a long time. I mean, I start all my clinics and I say, guys, I started playing drums in 1976 when dinosaurs roamed the earth. I mean, and it is true, man. We had to check our sand dials to get to our drum lessons. We had to dodge a T-Rex.
Yep.
But, all these years later, we're still doing it. We're still in love with it. We're still pursuing our craft. And, I got to play, like, it's almost like I went out with your girlfriend or something. It's like I got to sit in with your band that you play with 5-6 nights a week at the Parker Jazz Club. Just super nice guys.
I'm glad you dug it. And it was great. It was awesome. It was awesome to be on this side of things
and hear those guys.
You with them and seeing like good friends and good musicians and these worlds kind of collide and just kind of come together.
Yeah.
And then to go in there and kind of sit and join, I was like, wow, I was really, I don't know, it was really, really awesome.
That was a really fun day.
So this is Rich Redmond. If you haven't already recognized him, let's see, Rich is recognized around the world, man. I mean, how many 21 hit records at this point?
26 number one songs.
Jeez, yes. Played with Bryan Adams, Jewel, Ludacris. He's been the drummer for Jason Aldean for
20 years.
Jeez,
Isn't that crazy?
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Stadiums, clubs, dives. I've seen him in a little bitty place in Lubbock, Texas, and now he's playing in front of 80,000 people. He's got fire on stage.
And now we're in this amazing hotel room. We're having Pacifico. Because I'm almost like I'm an honorary Latin. Like I said, I was just in Mexico City, and they assume that I speak Spanish, and it's one of my like late life goals. I want to just be able to like have nice conversational Spanish.
Duolingo, man.
Duolingo is this app that everyone's talking about.
Yeah. Duolingo, if you see this, I just want 10%.
Is it like a monthly subscription fee?
No, it's free.
It's free?
I think it's free. When I got it was free.
Is there ads?
No, I don't think so. Actually, there's one little ad, but it's really not annoying at all.
I wonder how they make a living. It's crazy.
I don't know. Maybe it's something on this, and I just got the free one.
Huh.
But it works. It's good.
I'll check it out.
So, man, the format here is pretty simple. It's a hang. I'm going to go through. Ideally, it's called Trading Eights because we're trading eights, and it's going to be 8 questions. I don't know that I've ever actually gotten to 8 questions.
I love that guy.
So I know, so smart on my. And we will try. I will try to keep all the reminiscing to a minimum.
Yeah, but
although
this
I'm
is
sure
great.
there'll be a couple of stories that come through. All right, so if we go to any of your interviews, and you've talked about a lot of different things, like listening to the records and listening to Kiss back when you were living in El Paso and in the house and all that stuff, but was there a specific catalyst, a moment when you were younger that you literally said, I can do this for a living? And we were kind of talking about it in the hallway, but was there a specific moment you're like, okay, or was it a natural progression, or was it just always the thing, yes, I'm going to be this thing, this is going to what I'm going to do?
Like when I was coming up, like heavy metal was happening, the Sunset Strip, so I really fell in love with Carmine's brother Vinny was playing with Dio, Ronnie James Dio, and his music was like Dungeons and Dragons, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was like the drumming was exceptional, and I had Carmine's book, The Realistic Rock book, and so then I went back and I checked out his work with Vanilla Fudge and the Rod Stewart band, and at the time he was in a band called King Cobra, which is like a heavy metal band that he kind of led, and then the Police came out in 1983 with Synchronicity, and I fell in love with the drumming of Stuart Copeland.
I totally heard the Copeland vibe this afternoon. That was awesome.
Yeah.
So I remember specifically.
And then Alex Van Halen, who I think is a really underrated rock drummer. NBC had Friday night videos every Friday night, and they would play like videos. And so, Van Halen was on there, and of course this was the era of the birth of MTV, and I just kind of knew, it's like, oh my God, I am going to do this. And of course I'm in the dustiest corner of Texas, in West Texas, El Paso, Texas, very sleepy, tumbleweeds rolling through town. It's like the farthest connection you could possibly have to the music business. So, some people get their skill set together and they move right away to New York or Atlanta or Miami or Chicago or Austin, and it was a long trip for me. I knew I was going to have to go to college, so I went to Texas Tech, and then I went to the University of North Texas, and then I had my sights set on Los Angeles, but I ended up going to Nashville, and Nashville was great for me because it really taught me how to be a student of the song and help someone tell a story, which no matter what type of music you end up playing, if you know how to play a 3-minute song, you can play any kind of music, right? Especially if you have technique and you know how to read music and all that kind of stuff. But I just kind of knew, I'm going to do this. And when I heard David Lee Roth's record, Eat 'Em and Smile,
oh, that's Greg.
And I realized that Greg Bissonette had been in the 1 O'Clock Lab Band at North Texas State, but then moved to Los Angeles and had played with Maynard Ferguson, and had played with Tanya Marie, and had done all these, and played on the he played on a late night television show as well. But then at 27 years old, he got the gig with David Lee Roth, and his drumming was incredible. Like, what is this? The drum sounds were so exceptional. And now I'm in a band with Billy Sheehan, who was the bass player on that record.
I need Need 'Em and Smile.
On Need 'Em and Smile.
Wow.
Yeah, we're
awesome.
in a modern rock band together.
That's
like,
right. The Fell. No, that is the Fell. Yeah.
So
Awesome.
you reap what you sow. Like everything, if you do the right thing in life, you're a student of life. You know, you have a good heart. You treat people kindly. You work on your craft. You continually develop. You're gonna your heroes become your friends. You know what I mean? It eventually happens. It's crazy, you know. And now that I'm getting older, I'm passing the torch to generation after generation. As like the more I teach, you know, it's like that's why it's so incredible to see, you know, an ex-student. You know, you're like an ex-student, but you're a colleague. You know what I mean? So to see you do what you do, and tonight you were directing traffic for me and everything on stage, and you were playing percussion. It was so good. You're like a metronome.
Give you the signs.
Great.
Oh, it was great. It was a lot of fun, man.
Awesome.
And the kids were super receptive. And still, I mean, I've seen your crash clinic
several times.
At least 3 or 4.
Yeah.
And still, I've seen it change. I've seen it evolve, and it's still, letter A, it's entertaining, super engaging. You're always playing your tail off. And that's the other thing, man. Like, who you are behind the kit is who you are as a person. And some cats, if you come up, and then it comes to that thing where like, well, yeah, I've known Rich a little while. I get that question. Is he really like that? Like, he's like, yeah, man, that's Rich. What you see is what you get.
That's hilarious.
And it's like, yeah, no, he's always just this exciting, positive individual. And that's what I was trying to tell the guys over the course of the last couple weeks. Like, you guys are gonna enjoy this. He's just a fun dude.
I love it.
Anyway, yeah, man.
Well, thank you, brother.
Yeah, dude. Okay, so we've talked about, you know, being prepared for the gig and just coming in and knocking it. But is there something, maybe what factor outside of technical skill, being able to read, do you think are super important that might be a little elusive to people in terms of being a sideman?
Well, I think, you know, musicianship, like I said, you play your personality on the instrument. I think for the most part, but it's that elusive it factor. Like some people have, two people can go to the same school, play the same set of drums, be the same age, study with the same teacher, and one person goes on to make it and the other person doesn't. And it's just because maybe there's something in their heart or their soul, or maybe how they pour more emotion into or passion into their work. There's just some elusive thing. There's like a grease, like a thing. Like I was telling the kids today, you can play rock exercise number 1A, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and you know, or it could be like a thing, you know. And some, you know, like when I went to school with Keith Carlock, it was just like, this guy's just so like he's technical, but he's greasy and he's soulful. And he sings like a bird, and then
I didn't know that.
He sings like a bird, and
wow.
he plays the bass guitar amazing. He plays piano, he plays guitar, like, and he'll just say, "Oh, I'm not very good at those," but he's like shreds on all.
Dude.
Yeah, that's just like these kind of people come along like once every 10, 15, 20 years, you know. For the rest of us mere mortals, we have to put in the hard work. Hard work beats raw talent every single time. You know, and if you do have talent and you know how to refine it and you're not afraid of hard work, there's really nothing you can do anything you want in life, you know. So, but I would say that it factor, you know. But basically, I've used hustle and preparation as a business model that's always worked for me, and then always continually trying to exceed expectations. So if people expect 100% from you, you give them 150% with a smile on your face. And we're in the business of trying to have, you know, all businesses thrive on repeat customers. Like we just went to 7-Eleven to buy these cervezas, right? But you go to 7-Eleven, you're like, oh my God, it's clean. The bathrooms are clean. They've got this section in the middle where I can get a nice cold water or a Starbucks thing or some healthy little meals and snacks. It's like, wow, this is right on my way to work. I'm going to stop here all the time. Repeat customers, and that's what we have to have as creatives to have a fighting chance at making a living at our craft. Is that phone's got to ring, you know? So I don't even know if I answered the question, but there's
You did.
there's an it
no,
factor. There's something that just comes. It's a gift from the universe that some people haven't. Now, can you cultivate an it factor? I mean, you could find. You have to celebrate your strengths in life instead of trying to fix the chinks in your armor.
Mm-hmm.
Like in a lot of academia, and they'll get you to try to fix, like, you've got to be able to do all these things so you have no weaknesses, so anybody can call you. But at the same time, if you could celebrate your strengths and refine your strengths, and now we're in a world of like Squarespace, where you can have a world-class website at the tip of your fingers, or through Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, you can market your business and find those 100,000 people in the world that are going to be your fan, whether you're a finger painting artist, or you make ceramics or pottery, or you carve wooden tables, or you make jazz, or you're a rapper. Like, you can do what you can promote.
I think that's still, to your point, you've got to be able to have that it factor. Because in that same world where you have Squarespace and Facebook, and there's a zillion and one people that have the exact same thing. So it's still having that one thing that you do that sets you apart from everybody else.
Finding that audience, finding those true fans, those people that will celebrate what you do, like lifelong. My boss, Jason Aldean, we're on our 9th record. We go to his shows, and his audience is literally 15 to 60, male and female. That's impossible. It's an impossible crowd to satisfy, because there's he's telling the story of what happens between New York and Los Angeles, in Middle America, the farmer, the husband, the guy that works 9 to 5 to support his family, and there's just a fun throwaway song, and then there's a ballad with Kelly Clarkson. It's like he's appealing to everyone. It's so hard to do.
Man, I still remember Wide Open the first time I heard that.
Yeah,
that's a great track. And honestly, the drum part's great.
Yeah.
I still was that thing. Man, this is so good. Good storytelling.
Yeah, the drum part is boom, whack, boom, whack.
But it's so good.
But hey, you got to do it for 3.5 minutes.
Yeah, man. Cut it down to 3 or 5. All right. Okay, what are you listening to right now, aside from obviously homework, and how? So is it MP3? Is it like not streaming, vinyl, reel to reel?
Yeah.
DAT, 8-track?
Great question. I continually, I fought the Spotify thing forever, because I was like, I don't want to shoot my songwriter friends and my musician friends in the foot, because something like Lady Gaga, when she had her song Poker Face, it was streamed millions and millions and millions and millions of times, and she made like some horribly low check. And it's because songwriters only make a certain amount of money based on, like, you make .000000001 of a penny for every stream. So somebody like you, who's like you're a jazz musician, you released a Danny Sanchez trio.
I should do that. How
many spins are you gonna get? Like, the check is going to be really low. They might not even send you a check. You know what I mean? But at the point where it's like more band leaders, these younger band leaders would say like, "Hey, Rich, I want you to play at the Viper Room on Monday night. Here's the Spotify playlist." And I'm like, "I don't have Spotify." They're like, "Dude, really, $10? It's $10 a month for all the music in the world." Sometimes you just got to be like, you just got to join them.
It changed the way that I started looking at things. Listening to things.
It's a great way.
It's a huge tool.
It's a massive tool. Like, you can say, and it's like that algorithm. If you like this, you'll really like this. It's so easy to do that. As a teacher, you can organize like when I was teaching at the University of North Alabama for my drum set students, basically I had a college course called Drumming in the Modern World. That was their class. And I had a playlist for 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s pop music. I had a disco playlist, I had a rock playlist, I had a country playlist, and I had a jazz playlist. And there was top 100 songs in each genre.
Yeah.
And so I was like, guys, this is how you're going to learn the idiom, and then having these songs down is going to be a way for you to like effectively communicate and take the work and do a good job. So it's a really great thing. So a lot of MP3s. I have the smart car that does the, my my iPhone shows up on the dash of my car, and I can listen to podcasts.
So we're in the digital age.
I listen to a lot of podcasts, and a lot of people are like, "Rich, I got a DVD for you. This is my new CD." I'm like, "Dude, I don't have a CD player, and I don't have a DVD player." Like literally, I have drank the Kool-Aid. I am totally
no DVD player.
Nothing.
What are you watching Alien on, man?
I do it on Amazon Prime. Right? It's like literally I've gone completely digital.
Wow.
I know. But I do have a vinyl player. I have an Audio-Technica vinyl player, and I got a lot of vinyl player. You know, Santana, Abraxas.
Mm-hmm.
I've got Blondes Have More Fun, Rod Stewart. I've got like, you know, and I'll be at the house and I'll burn some incense and I'll light some candles and I'll listen to some vinyl. Yeah, but for the most part, you know, I'm a sucker for singer-songwriters, especially troubadours like Bruce Springsteen, John Mellencamp, Steve Earle, Lucinda Williams, Sean Colvin, like troubadours, like people telling a story with their guitar, and that's like a secret career fantasy of mine.
Nice.
I would love to be someone that knows 3 chords on the guitar but can actually turn it into poetry.
Yeah.
Like Bob Dylan, you know. But I have a different calling in life, which is to help those people bring songs to life.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you have to revel in your calling, you know, and that's a long answer. But a lot of podcasts, you know, WTF with Mark Maron. He's got over 1,000 episodes. He's kind of like a cynic actor comedian, and he interviews musicians, actors, comedians, and it's so like today I just listened on the treadmill to Rob Lowe's interview. You know, the actor, and they're like having a conversation just like this. And there's no video; it's just here's a Zoom recorder right between them, and very very eye-opening.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool. I've checked out a few of those. I need to do more. It's great.
Podcasts are great.
Do you know Cliff Allman?
I know of him, yeah.
Yeah, he's got a great one. He's doing an interview with Anthony Jackson at the Blue Mountain.
He was Michelle Camilo's guy, right? They replaced Wackola and Roosevelt.
Oh my gosh. Oh yeah, that's a whole other thing.
That's great stuff.
Oh yeah. Okay. So, what would you say over the last 1 or 2 years was your most significant musical development? Like, not back in school. Like, really, can you pinpoint something specific over the last 2 years? And the reason I ask this is because as we get further along in our career, our craft, what have you, it seems to me that like the better I feel like it gets, the longer amount of time there is the distance between breaking those glass ceilings. Like, okay, now I realize I can do this, or now this feels a little bit better because of this reason. And as speaking commercially, as I get further along, it's like I feel fewer of these aha moments.
Yeah.
But maybe that's just me.
Yeah, well, like a thing for me recently was like Nashville came out in droves the other night to see the single release party for my band, The Fell. So I have a band called The Fell, which is like a modern rock pop band, but it really mixes like dance and pop and like melodic rock and like metal and a little bit of shreddy type stuff. And it's like Billy Sheehan on bass, Steve Vickers on vocal, Mike Krampus on guitars, and Scott Westervold on keys, and it's a modern rock band. And you know, I've recorded 15 tracks, and we have a deal with the Sony The Orchard, which is going to release our record to like it's 190 territories. So like
Nice.
This last Friday, the single hit 190 territories, which is amazing. And Nashville comes out and they're like, "Oh my God, Rich, I've never seen you play like that on the little 10, 12, 14." They're like, it's always huge drums and like less is more, and the Phil Rudd. They call me like the Phil Rudd of country, like so, like it's hilarious. Somebody called me that the other day. I was like, I'll take that.
That's cool.
You know, I'll take that. You know, but so like there's this perception like, oh yeah, I guess people only know me from the last 20 years for doing that thing, right? And then tonight was a nice accomplishment because I hadn't played that kind of music in a long time. Great musicians, like we played jazz, rock, fusion, samba, soca, fun stuff with you on percussion tonight. So that was fun. You know, continuing to make this body of work, you know, that's always fun.
And for whatever it's worth, that is something I just want to reinforce. As much as you might know him as the Phil Rudd of country drumming, I mean, this has been a guy that legitimately knows his styles. And even if it is rusty, it totally
I felt like it was rusty,
came through.
Yeah, because I didn't really prepare for this. Basically, we just said these are the songs we're going to do, and they're like we were going to play these jazz standards, but kind of in my wheelhouse where it's like the first thing to go for me as a musician is my up tempo, your twitch muscles, like so your twitch muscles are all your finger ding 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 ding
Yep.
ding ding ding. That's something you have to do consistently and constantly. And I remember seeing a clinic by one of my heroes, Carmen Appice, years ago, and he was doing a clinic at MI, and they were like, "Tell us about your roots." And like he's like, "Well, I played bar mitzvahs and I played swing music and ding da ding da ding da." He goes, "That's really rusty right now," because he was the guy that was going
Yeah.
you know, so you know, you reap what you sow, and you some of these things just it's hard to do everything and maintain it perfectly across the board. But like an accomplishment, like it's still cool to like hear myself on the radio when a new single comes out, or go do our round of TV shows in New York, LA. You go to do Ellen, you do Kimmel, you do all that stuff. Accomplishment.
So he's saying it's more.
It's just everything's just kind of moving forward.
Right.
Most of my favorite accomplishments in the last couple of years have been, well, I successfully recovered, mentally, physically, and financially from a breakup, right? Which is great. I moved my life forward, and I treated myself to some things that I had been denying myself, like a nice car, and I got some nice clothes together. I treated myself in my late life, and then I've been studying acting for over 4 years, and I had some good things come together, like. I played a radio DJ in a horror film on Netflix. So it's like my friends can watch me on Netflix. So like my phone is like lighting up like a Christmas tree all the time. I swear I just saw you in this horror film. I'm like, dude, it was me. Yeah. And then I just made my TV debut on a hit show on the Sci-Fi Channel, and I got to act with an Emmy award-winning actor, and now I got my SAG card. And so it's like, so just other cool creative things. Like the drumming is always going to be coasting, and I'm always going to want to be getting better.
Right.
But there's some other areas of just interest in my life that I'm wanting to develop, and I'm treating those careers with the same methodical nature of getting the skill set together, getting to a place where people are gathering around watering holes where those kind of people can connect, and making those relationships and trying to break down barriers. And as long as you're continually moving forward, you'll make progress, and you'll get to where you want to, as long as you're not like in a rush. Because as you know, our drumming career has been a marathon, not a sprint.
Yep.
For me, it started in Connecticut, and then it was El Paso, Texas, and then it was Lubbock, Texas, and then it was Denton, Texas, and then it was Dallas, Texas, and then Nashville, and then Los Angeles. So I've lived in 7 cities, pursuing the drumming thing, and the people the things that always happen for me to further my career always happened as a result of people. People championing me.
I remember you saying that.
And wanting to play music with me, which is just a treat.
It's awesome.
Same thing with you. I mean, you're playing 6 nights a week in the jazz club in Austin, Texas, the live music capital of the world. Wow, this is something to be celebrated.
Yeah, that's been exciting. A lot of fun.
Trading 8s. I like this.
I'm going to ask a couple of these. Okay. Do you have a favorite inspirational jazz album? I got to ask the jazz side of things.
I remember when I was at North Texas State, the master's students had access to the library, and we could check out any jazz CDs we wanted. And what I would do is I would transfer them to cassette. And so I had so many cassettes. All the good stuff. Inspirational jazz. It's been a while, because my listening taste changed a little bit.
Oh yeah.
But I tell all my students to like check out Kind of Blue.
Of course.
It's wonderful to have that. And then, as much as I love small group jazz, I like small group jazz is here. And then I like, if you put like Spyro Gyra, the Yellow Jackets, Jeff Lorber fusion, that thing is above that. And then I really love big band.
Yeah.
Like I got really good at playing big band music.
You were a great big band. I'm sure you could be again.
I
you
love
were a
big
great
band.
big band drummer. Yeah, that was a very big thing for me to see you playing with the big bands. Like that's
big band is like a
rock and
band.
roll of jazz band. I'm like, that's killing.
It's like, it was really sweet because 2 years ago, I played at the Percussive Art Society, and I played shiny stockings
Oh.
with the United States Air Force Airman of Note. And Erskine was in the audience, and he came up afterwards and he goes, "That was unexpected." It was really cool. So it was like, job well done. Like I did my homework.
That's
and,
it.
You know, and then just a couple months ago, I did a clinic for the United States Air Force. Their rock band. They have a rock band called. It's totally leaving my addled old brain here. Maximum Impact.
Oh, jeez.
They have a rock band.
Nice.
And so like I went and did like a little crash course for their rock band and talked to them about, you know, teamwork and listening and dynamics and like really digging in and doing all that kind of stuff. So it's in a long roundabout way, I would say it's been a little bit on my jazz listening. What's your favorite? You were just listening to Jeff Hamilton, right?
Oh, jeez, that record's so bad.
That's 40 years old.
Yeah. But if I think that Three Quartets record, Chick Corea, it's Steve Gadd, Michael Brecker, and Eddie Gomez, who got to hang out with fairly recently. That's the record that I listen to. It just kind of makes me make this steak face like the whole way.
My God.
But
I have weird taste. Like I was telling you about, you know, Grover Washington Jr., just the two of us with Steve Gadd on drums and Ralph McDonald playing percussion, and how Ralph McDonald comes in on the third or fourth chorus towards the outro with all his go-go bells and cowbells and stuff. It just lifts the track. And I don't even know if they recorded it with a click or anything, but it's just like...
Yeah.
I mean, what a pocket feel. Gadd and that mushy snare drum. And
Yeah, that makes me remember, I think the last time you came through town, we were driving in my truck and Brass in Pocket came on.
Oh my
And
God!
that's one of those tunes I'm just like, still to this day, I'm like, what is it?
Dun, dun,
About that
dun,
tune? I'm like, this is so dope. And then she starts singing, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so sexy.
It is
She's
so sexy. Martin Chambers. They got a great take, man. You know what I mean? And I've seen
Such a
them
good
like
track.
in concert, like on television, and for some reason it doesn't always have the same thing. But like a record is it's a moment in time that is captured forever, and that's why I always tell my students, like, you never mail it in, and like always try to have a great day, because it's forever. You're gonna hear it in the grocery store. You're gonna hear it in an elevator. You know, you gotta play your butt off when you're recording. You gotta play your butt off all the time, because you know what? We're all recording drummers now, because everyone is recording us on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
Like tonight, like I saw a kid.
I didn't realize that much video was taken tonight. I was like, because I haven't played percussion at all.
And that was so good, but no, there was like this kid in the audience that was like filming my entire speech today, and like I could be like that jerk kid. It's like, hey kid, or you know, it's just like, put it out there. The more content in the world. And what I've learned is that the content doesn't have to be, you know, like my Drumming in the Modern World, drumminginthe modern world.com. I shot it in HD. I got the robotic jib, and like my friend Eric Doris, like we spared no expense and we did it right. But at the same time, there's a lot of guys out there that are doing really well, teaching online courses and stuff, and it's like an iPhone. Mm-hmm. You know, the lighting is horrible.
Or a simple.
Yeah.
It's good, man.
Yeah, man.
Okay, so that's pretty easy. I'm not going to ask that one. What is it about a performance that brings you down?
Oh man, when I'm playing with someone who is unprepared, like so, like
how often does that happen?
Well, they've got this jam night at the Viper Room in Los Angeles, and like for the last couple of years, in addition to like taking acting classes and meeting other actors and producers and directors and going out on auditions, like I'll go and I'll play these music nights around town at the Whiskey, a Go-Go, or the Lucky Strike bowling alley, or the Viper Room, and they got all these jams where these are watering holes where musicians connect, and I want to be connected with other musicians on that particular coast playing a different kind of music. So my friend, Eric, that runs this Viper Room jam, one time he put me up on stage with, and I told him this straight to his face, I was like, you put me up there with a bass player who didn't know the changes to Free Fallin' by Tom Petty, which is like 3 chords. And I was like, dude, that guy made me look like a complete jerk. you know, and it's just like, how can you go to a jam night, which like in most major cities they're not really jams, they're like you get invited, you get sent the MP3, you know what time you're gonna hit the stage, you gotta learn the song, right? So learn the material, right? But everything since then has been like amazing. He puts me up there and it's like these great people and they show up and everybody knows their stuff, but that lack of preparation is just like a real slap in the face. It's like, okay, so I stayed up all night and got on a flight at 6 a.m. and did all my homework, and you're gonna come and you don't know this? Like, that's, you know. But, you know, the older we get, you know, there's like less situations, you know, where I'm...
And less patience for that.
There's less situations where I'm thrown into the fire like that. Okay. And, you know, hopefully you get to a point where your reputation precedes you and people are just like, oh my God. Like, so like if I was going to go, you know, somebody's going to go play with Aerto and Flora Purim or something, like you're going to learn the song.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Real.
You know, right? So, but yeah, lack of preparation. And then you can get around anything. I tell the kids, like, don't be precious about gear. You know, you play the Grand Ole Opry, it's a house kit. You've got 30 seconds to get on stage. There's a hydraulic throne. Usually the monitor mix is like a disaster.
Really?
And you're literally, you just have to figure out how to make it happen because it's a live radio show. So you can't be precious and go like, well, those aren't my particular sizes and brands of cymbals, or like, I don't usually tune my floor tom that low. Dude, just get on the drums and play the song.
drums. Just
play the song.
Shut up and play the guitar.
You know, like today was like a real wonderful high-level professional drum set from Soundcheck here in Austin. And those drums worked great for my clinic where I was playing my rock country stuff, and then when it came time to do the jazz stuff, the bass drum was a little large. But what are you gonna do? You're not gonna play. You know, I tell everybody, like, it's easier to play jazz and softer styles on a large drum set by just controlling your volume than trying to get a massive rock sound out of an 18-inch bebop bass drum.
Well, therein lies the whole, what you were saying, that taste and touch and technique comes into play.
Taste, touch, time, technique, all the T's.
That's good.
Yeah.
Groovy.
Lack of preparation is bad.
Yeah, I concur. Break for beer.
Beer break. A new one?
Okay. Yeah, I noticed.
Slate.
I noticed exactly when I'm watching again. I'm always clapping all over the place.
What do you use? Just iMovie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I would like to do something more involved, but there's a part of it where I really want to keep it very basic and very raw.
Yeah,
and just
iMovie's
like,
great.
this works.
You can add music, graphics.
Yeah. Ooh, favorite genre of music outside of country or jazz? Try to put you in a compartment here and
well,
work your way out.
It could be the old guy in me, you know, in my band, you know, we talk about this all the time, we're just like, guys, we just keep revisiting a lot of the same stuff because it's really hard to beat it, you know, we get so attached emotionally to the things that happen in our lives and the music that was part of that soundtrack of our lives. So, you know, I always revisit the Police, I always revisit the Stones, the Beatles, the Zeppelin, the Who, anything classic, which is, and now, you know what's really interesting is that like the early Aldine stuff, like something like, say, like Amarillo Sky, which came out in like 2006, 2007, is now played on what, you know, what they call classic country.
Right. Wow.
It's like recurring on classic country now. But that's an amazing thing to think that, like I said, the guy that I play with can attract 15 to 55, right? 15 to 55 male and female, be played on classic rock, classic country radio, be played on all the new, and was just given the Dick Clark Award for Artist of the Decade, and the guy that had it before him was George Strait with 60 #1 songs. And George passed the torch to Aldine. So to be involved with something as special as that, where we literally were able to like redefine an era and a sound of a genre of music is like a massive responsibility. Yeah. It's a crazy, crazy thing. But like I'm always revisiting the classic stuff. As you could say, I love the singer-songwriter stuff. And then like my girlfriend Kara, she was like a rocker. She was really, I mean, she still is. She's really into like Soundgarden and Chris Cornell and Pearl Jam and like all the '90s, right? And then she said soon after that it all went to hell. So like when I'm thinking of like Third Eye Blind and some of that like late '90s, early mid 2000s. She's like, I'm out. You lost me at that, right? Doop 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 doop. Right? But like some of that is just like it's like earwig shit. It's like I kind of like it, but she's like, as soon as that went south, she discovered hip hop, and so like she's turning me on to like Travis Scott and Drake and and everybody in Los Angeles rolls down their window and listens to hip hop. It's a hip hop town, right? So I try to like. Not be the old guy. I walked up in the snow, up the hill 6 miles. Like I don't want to be that guy. Like I want to stay hip. I want to stay fresh. I want to like be current and especially if you're you want to continue to be a recording musician, stay fresh, be inspired by new sounds, keep up with the Joneses. First it was drum and bass, and now it's like all this the hi hat. 64 notes on the hi-hat, like just keeping up with this stuff, because I do have friends that are stuck in the 70s. Like they drop their vinyl. They're very accomplished musicians. They're dear friends of mine, but they're just like constantly dropping their needle on 1970s vinyl. I do think that some of the best music ever recorded was recorded between 1969 and 1981. I really do. I feel like it's a magic era where there was one-hit wonders. Like if you like Pina Colada, that was Steve Jordan. No, that's Steve Jordan.
Really, I didn't know that.
That's Steve Jordan, like and another guy. They two drummers.
Wow.
And then you had all the bands, the Who, the Stones, the Police. You had and then the British Invasion came in the early '90s, and then there was New Wave, and then the drum machine thing came with Tina Turner. What's Love Got to Do? And the Lynn Machine, it's just. But I do feel like some of the most honest, like the greatest period of music, like for what I do and what attracts me, was like from literally like '69 to '79.
Okay.
I love that.
That's awesome.
But I don't want to be the old guy, so I'm always going to be, taking the suggestions from the youth. Or at least my 48-year-old girlfriend who says, listen
Check this out.
Listen to Drake.
Man, I had the really cool opportunity to have a fella come in, play at the club named Cleon Edwards, I believe.
Cleon.
And he's the I think the regular drummer now. He has been for Erykah Badu.
Oh wow.
And he was amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing, and not just like chops oriented, really original sounding solos and stuff like that, but just his pocket and his sense of time and how everything felt. And it was really, really interesting to me. We had a couple of conversations where I was very much relating to what he was playing, even though I play a completely different style. So that I started to see a little bit more of a similarity between the styles of music. Now you can easily say that hip hop, rap, and jazz, they all have that swing, but I've personally always found it a little difficult. It's not the right word. I just haven't gravitated.
Well, like Erykah Badu and that Lauryn Hill record, The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, is just like I don't know what happened to her after she fell off the deep end, but that really holds up. You know what I mean? It really, really, really does. And I was watching that long form interview show with David Letterman. My next guest, it's on Netflix, and he interviews Jay-Z, and he interviews Kim Kardashian's husband, Kanye. I was really, really impressed with their intelligence and their creativity and their sense of business and everything. And they, like Kanye's got his problems,
his quirks,
but he admitted it. He's like, look at him, bipolar. There's, it's everybody's going through something, and it's very easy to judge, especially based on what you read in the National Enquirer or People Magazine or Entertainment Tonight. But to hear these guys' stories was really interesting, even though both of them don't really use live drummers. It doesn't mean we can't enjoy their music or draw inspiration from beats they create and stuff. So
for sure.
You know, I'm just trying to still be a sponge and not be the old guy.
That's smart. No, that's smart. Any instrument you think you would play outside of drums? Like, well, didn't you say you had an aspiring guitarist?
Well, like for a while, I was like practicing all my chords and like I have a killer right hand.
Yeah.
Great jang-a-lang feel.
Yeah.
But then the left hand is like a dead fish, just trying to get.
Dude, and you have cats that you can teach you how to do it.
Bet it's just so frustrating for me. So
I found it painful.
It's just you gotta.
And then it started messing with this. I'm like, nope.
You gotta keep you gotta develop the calluses.
Uh huh.
You have to maintain the calluses, right? So we've been doing this for so long, like Christmas vacation. You're in your. Where's Richie? Where's Danny? We're on the practice pad. 8 hours later, like, let me know when dinner's ready. That was like, and then so to think that, it's frustrating because you're trying to get good at another thing, and I don't even think we have enough time on the.
No,
but I look like at a guy like David Grohl, who broke all the world. He can sing great. He plays great. He writes great. He plays great drums. He's an animal. And then he's a super nice guy. He has an amazing personality. I saw him fill in for a week on the Chelsea Handler show, and he was an amazing host on a national television show. He just he can do no wrong. Right. I feel like I'm just a mere mortal. Like I'm just a working stiff. But I'm experimenting with these other things that are in Los Angeles. The voiceover, the hosting, the acting. I have my podcast, Pick Rich's Brain. I've just started a new show called The Rich Redmond Show, where my first guest is going to be Victoria Jackson from Saturday Night Live.
Nice.
Yeah, she was on Saturday Night Live with Phil Hartman and
that was the golden era.
Chris Farley, and she lives in Nashville now. And I took a comedy class with her. So again, relationships in action.
That wasn't fun at all, I'm sure.
No, she's so honest. She's like, Rich, there's 11 kinds of comedy. And she goes, and I suck at 10 of them. I'm good at my one thing.
Yeah.
So it's like we just have to figure out our strengths, develop our strengths, and then try to connect the dots and try to find people that'll let us do those things that we are good at. That's been my whole business model in life. Just finding the things that I'm good at, but never. I always working on the other things too. But find out what really is like
those things that you excel at. And
just take it to the bank,
yeah,
all the way, commit 100%.
I like it.
To that.
I love it. Now I think we got through almost all.
Well, I do really long answers.
That's okay.
Trading eights.
I noticed that. I'm just kidding. Trading multiple courses. 20s. Yes. Well, man, that's really it.
Yeah.
I think it's been great to hang out and catch up again.
This is amazing.
I look back over years and years and years and years and years, and
I just can't believe it that I met you when you were 16 years old.
16 or 17. And in fact, I think you were talking about Alex Van Halen. I remember you. I think you were in that brown Toyota with the white camper or whatever, and it was like first time I was going with you to a lesson, and you're like, so. I was about to do your voice.
It was a brown Toyota.
I was about to do your voice, but I'm not going to do your voice.
Hey, buddy, you're going to do an impersonation?
I was going to do it, but I'm not going to do it.
Do it. That's great.
And you're like, what kind of drummers do you like? I said, I'm really into Alex. And you said, Alex Acuna? I'm like, no, Alex Van Halen.
I'm like, yes!
I was like, okay, this is going to work. And it was always a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So I got to tell you, folks, if you ever, any people, dentists, lawyers, table makers, painters, drummers, guitarists, if you get the opportunity to go to one of Rich's clinics, master classes, up close performance when he's off in a distance and he looks about that big, you need to do it. Because what you're seeing is a guy who's incredibly passionate about what he does, and it just kind of gets into your body to watch him play. Even after years, I've seen him over and over and over, and I've known the guy forever. Today, I was just watching him doing what he's doing, and I'm still smiling. This is an inspiring situation. And because he's smiling, but it definitely invokes something inside. So, make the effort. Go to richredmond.com. Go see him on the road with Jason Aldean. Go see him with The Fell. Go see him on TV. Go read his book. Go see his DVDs. Wait, he doesn't even own a DVD player anymore. He's in the digital world. This has been session 5 with Trading Eights. My name is Danny Sanchez. Rich.
We love you, man.
Thank you so
Daniel
much.
Sanchez on drums.com,
There we go.
guys. Keep in touch with us. I'm so proud of you, man. I love
Oh,
you.
thanks, bud.
Appreciate it.
We'll see you next time. That's it.